Deepen analysis, we're joined by Dr. Luciano Zaccara, who is a senior non-resident fellow at the Gulf International Forum and visiting associate professor at Georgetown University in Qatar, live from Spain. Thank you so much for joining us today. Doctor, Iran says it wants peace, but also insists on controlled shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. How should we read this strategy?
Well, for Iran, it's not contradictory to claim that they want peace and that they want to control the Strait of Hormuz. Actually, what they want to do is to make sure that as a result of the war that unilaterally was declared by the United States and Israel on Iran, the new status of the Strait of Hormuz that was the result of this war is benefiting Iran in the way that they are getting something that before they didn't have. You have to remember that Iran threatened to use the Strait of Hormuz as a political tool for 40 years, and they never did it. And they always claimed that if attacked, they will use that card. And this is exactly what happened. Iran doesn't want to release that card that they obtained during the war, but they want a deal that is guaranteeing their safety and peace, but with a different status of the Strait of Hormuz, not as it was before the 20th of February.
And could Iran's proposed Hormuz shipping arrangement change the regional balance of power?
Certainly, this new arrangement, if they are accepted by or arranged with Oman or arranged between Iran and Oman and accepted by the GCC and the United States, of course, it will change the balance of powers, at least in terms of the energy markets, because necessarily Iran will be involved in any security arrangement that guarantees the traffic of the ships in the Strait of Hormuz. And this is something that Iran wants to obtain as a result of this war that was initiated by the United States and Israel. But at this point, I don't think that this is something that the United States and the GCC states or other countries would be willing to accept. So I believe that this is going to take a lot of time to negotiate something that would please both Iran and the United States, and at the same time is guaranteeing the freedom of traffic in the Strait.
Qatar says Israel is delaying the Gaza peace plan while regional tensions continue. How are these crises, though, connected?
The two crises are connected because of the origin of all this was in October 2023 and what happened or started in Gaza. We have to remember that the confrontation between Iran and Israel and the Houthis and the reaction of Hezbollah, etc., was as a result of this war. Although at the end of the day, these two wars are still connected because Iran keeps asking some things that they had to do with the conflict that Israel is having with, for instance, Hezbollah in Lebanon. So all these conflicts that started with the Gaza war in 2023, continuing with the entrance of the Houthis in the confrontation, and also with Hezbollah, had to do with the bigger problem that exists between Iran and Israel at the end of the day in this region, in which both are trying to exclude the other of any kind of arrangement in the Middle East. So it is difficult to think that any deal between the United States and Iran will not be considering the other aspects of this conflict that exists there. And therefore, this is also harming the role that Qatar is having in terms of mediation, because Qatar has been trying to mediate in the conflict between Israel and Hamas since the very beginning, with the United States, Egypt, and Turkey. And of course, more this conflict is getting delayed, more chances for Qatar and the GCC states to be harmed by any kind of retaliation or any kind of military action that is started as a result of this unfinished conflict.
So with Houthi attacks continuing and Hormuz under pressure, how vulnerable is Gulf energy security today?
Well, now it's, I would say that it's more dangerous than any time before, because if we remember when the war started in Gaza, the Houthis first started to attack Israel, and then they declared the closure of this Bab el-Mandeb for vessels that they were linked to Israel or the United States or UK that were participating in the attacks against the Houthis. Now, the Strait of Hormuz has been added later on when Iran was attacked by the United States and Israel. Therefore, now we have the two straits that they are under pressure, under threat by Iranian allied forces. And this, of course, making the GCC states oil exporting countries, those that they were using the Red Sea or that they could use the Red Sea as an alternative for exporting oil, like Emirates or Saudi Arabia, much more vulnerable than before. So if the two straits are being cancelled or closed at the same time, this would be would put a lot of pressure not only to the exporting countries of gas and oil, but to all the developed countries that they are using energy that they need that energy, mainly China, India, and of course European countries.